Hello, fellow vapors. It is Dale, and I am here today with my full review of the DejaVu RDTA. Bam. Yeah, so let's go ahead and let's kind of get down into it because I really like this thing. Okay, anyway, on to what I'm doing. This is the box that the DejaVu RDTA comes in, and I really love this packaging. Absolutely love this packaging. I didn't know how I felt the first time I saw it. I was like, ugh, it's another one of those. No, it's well worth everything. So inside of this box is this cool little case that I showed you in the unboxing video. And the configuration of this particular tank is fantastic. I know that I've said that. This particular one is silver. I do know that they come in black as well. If I had my choice, if I would have seen it before I told them what color I wanted, I would have picked black because it's a little sexier. Yeah. So, anyway, in here we are going to start with this guy. This is your, if I can get it out of here. This is a display stand that it comes with. So pretty much it just sits here and has a place to be on your desk or whatever. It's not like a build stand or anything like that. You do not, there's no threads in there, so you can't screw it down. But it is something just to sit it on if you need, you know, to display it or anything like that. So I thought that was really cool, and it did come in handy. I did use it. And you're also gonna have this guy, and it's one of these, they remind me of like the old camera roll things, film roll, whatever you wanna call them. It has extra bits and pieces, a little hex screwdriver dealio, and O-rings. And you also will get the RDTA itself, an extra piece of glass, let's see, yeah, an extra piece of glass, and an ULTEM drip tip, which we all know how I feel about this ULTEM drip tip situation. I like ULTEM, but I hate the color, and it is what it is, I think. But I like the ULTEM drip tip a lot better than I liked the drip tip, this knurled metal drip tip. I feel like the metal drip tips are just gonna knock my teeth out, but that's my own personal preference. So, these are the pieces. Let me clear up my area. Being sloppy. So these are the pieces to the RDTA itself. So of course you have your drip tip, your airflow, your side airflow control. And this is like your little cap here. Now the side airflow control, I'm hoping we can see these. They do have these little triangular little cutouts. And then they would line up with this rectangle diamond piece. And it does spin to where you can open and cut them off, of course. Now it also does have bottom airflow. Now whenever you put the whole thing together, you'll notice, yes, you can change the top airflow. No, you cannot change that bottom airflow. I personally did not see that to be an issue. Fun fact about Dale, I also do not care for bottom airflow atomizers. Now tanks are a different story. RTAs are a different story. I do not care for a bottom airflow RDTA, and that's just my personal preference. However, this particular RDTA, I loved it. It really helped with the flavor, and I understand why he kept it fully open. And it does have to do with flavor production. Yes. So, this is your deck, which we'll talk about here in a second. I want to show you how to take this apart. Now, it took me forever to figure out how to actually take the bottom piece apart and everything off. It is cross-threaded, and the O-ring that is pressurizing it, is what I'm going to call it, together, is very, very strong. So keep in mind that this bottom piece is cross-threaded. So you're going to spin it the opposite way than you normally would. You have this disc here, and your glass, of course. And here's your 510 pin, and your deck in all of its glory. I know that I talked about the post holes in the unboxing video. I would like to talk about them again now that I've actually used it, and I enjoyed building on this. There are some RDTAs in particular that I cannot stand building on. I had a great time building on this. It was very, very easy. I'm hoping we're going to be able to zoom in really, really close here to show you that there are 1, 2, 3 post holes. There are 2 up top, and I am calling them 2 because they are actually 1. I'm going to call them 2 because there is a kind of like a hill in between them. But if you were to take both of these screws on top out, it would open up into 1 hole. But you can put 2 little wires on either side, which is how I built it. I built it kind of weird. I put 3 different builds in it. The first one I did is I put 1 lead out here and 1 lead on the inside of this one and outside of this one, and then on the opposite side I did the opposite. That one was not my favorite, but it was very easy to do a fatter coil, a bigger build in this. My favorite build was using the inside holes along with the bottom holes, like you would a velocity style. And that one was my favorite for vapor and cloud production, and I was able to get the wicking just right with that particular build instead of putting that big long build in there. And once I got the build in, and like I said, these post holes are fantastic. I love the little hill that they put in here because your wire doesn't jump around as you're screwing the screws down, so that's also helpful. Yeah, so you would access, I know I keep jumping around, I'm just very, very excited about this RDTA, but I already talked about the top 2. This bottom hole here is accessed through a screw on the side, right here. And even though I had a fun time building this was annoying to me. I felt like I was going to strip the screws from the outside every single time I put a build in the bottom. But I am very hard on my addies, so don't judge me. If you do it in the comments. Anyway, so as you can see, as long as you line up your coils here with this bottom airflow that you cannot control, it is going to work great for you. You also have your wicking channels at the bottom here. And whenever I built this, I actually screwed it on to a mod. Without the tank and all of that down here. I built it and then I wicked it with it like this. I found it to be easier to push the cotton through these holes and to kind of fluff them out at the bottom. And then I unscrewed it off of my mod and put it all back together, making sure that none of the cotton that I used was stuck up in the glass area here. It is not hard to build this. It is very easy. Just remember that this bottom piece is cross-threaded, and it is confusing for me. I'm a dyslexic, so having anything cross-threaded is like trying to decipher a lowercase a and a lowercase b and a lowercase d. So it was very confusing for me. But once you get it, it's fairly easy. Also, I have it kind of like so. I want to show you this guy. I can't tell if y'all can see it, but I know I talked about it in the unboxing. I'm going to talk about it here because it was one of my favorite features of this, is the push to fill mechanism here. And as I push it, you'll see right here that it opens and closes. I'm hoping y'all can catch that on camera. And that was truly my favorite feature of this tank, was filling it. Yes, it's a 2 mil tank. And I know that there's gonna be some people saying, oh, it's an RDTA with a 2 mil tank. It doesn't matter, because to fill this RDTA is the easiest and best invention whenever it comes to RDTAs. I was very, very, very surprised. And the Vape Wild plastic bottles and the unicorn bottles are perfect to fill this with. I did have an issue with the glass dripper bottles, but it looks like a lot of the companies aren't using them anymore. So hopefully that won't be an issue for you. If so, just dump it in a unicorn bottle, it'll be good. Yeah, so I guess I want to talk about my pros and cons. I have said a whole lot of pros while showing you how to use this tank, and honestly, the only con that I have about this is the drip tip that it comes with, like the metal one. I am so thankful that they put that ULTEM drip tip off to the side, because this metal one, let me put it on this camera because I know we can kind of zoom in and look at it. It is this etched at the top, and it's not comfortable. Like, it's not comfortable. And I've seen a couple of other YouTube reviews, some of the big reviewers who have reviewed this tank, and they don't mind it. I mind it a lot. One, being a girl, I wear chapstick and lip gloss a lot. It gets gross, especially during the winter, so I'm sure you can imagine. But I also don't care for metal tips. I feel like they're gonna knock my teeth out. But the ULTEM tip worked perfectly. And it does not look ridiculous like it would if it was a colored tank, which is good. So that's my only con about this tank, is the drip tip they expect me to use. But they provided one on the side that I love, so it's okay. Yeah, I had a great time using this RDTA. And if you have one, or if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them or tell me about it in the comments. I'm working really hard to come in and talk to everybody, and I would love to talk to you. So yeah, that is what I thought of the DejaVu RDTA, and you can get yours at vapewild.com. Bye guys.